Yeah.
Um,
What are your
so,
thoughts on them? Like people saying that they should defund the police and so on and so forth.
well, so when I hear defund the police, this is defund the police and the programs that deal with the excessive kind of force. I don't hear defund the police as in remove the police from uh, um, our society as a means of protecting society. I don't hear that. I mean, when I defund, I hear overhaul of the system so that people are held accountable for the things that they do. I think that is really the biggest thing. I mean, honestly, people who live in communities that are troubled or plagued by violence and crime, they would say, we know that these people around here, around us, that threaten us and scare us, need to be addressed and dealt with. But at the same time, you're evaluating people and making a judgment and killing them, removing them from this earth for whatever crime they did. Even if it's a violent crime, they need to at least be able to get an opportunity to have what's called due process and be able to defend themselves in a court of law. But you don't get that if you're dead. You don't get that, you know? And we can say whatever we can collectively understand as a human society that whatever George Floyd had done, whatever it was, this incident started from a $20 bill, counterfeit $20 bill exchange. That's not that's not worth losing. That's not enough to have somebody lose their life. So that's the point, that there are rare circumstances in which that the excessive force is necessary. And of course, they have videos of police who don't follow protocol and then who are victimized, and then that becomes the kind of like the big picture perception. But it's not the protocol to use for every person you encounter, and that's what's problematic.
Yeah. Actually, in my eyes, is defunding police would not be the option. In fact, I think the police. This is just my take. I think the police should get more funds so that they can train their police force even better, because I don't think they're getting the adequate. I'm not really an expert on what kind of training the police officers get, but I think they need to, number one, as you said, overhaul and get rid of the programs that encourage this kind of behavior, and number two, train their police officer in a better sense, whereby you don't put your knee on somebody's neck, because that is a clear sign to me, an officer that is not well trained at de-escalating the issue and making sure that although you are maybe holding the man down, you are not killing him. And yeah.
But again, so training is one thing, and they talk about training all the time as like retrain the police. But if there's a system of policing, then a system, we're not talking about individuals, like it's a system of policing that is based on dealing with people of color in a very different kind of way, then the individual training doesn't mean anything. If you have a system that says we're going to do stop and frisk, but we're not going to go to those neighborhoods over there and do stop and frisk. We're going to go to this neighborhood right here, and we're going to put all our resources in. That's a very different kind of mentality and attitude about policing than retraining someone,
I see.
because
Yeah,
they're
I understand.
using training that they have, but and that's why people again say this is systemic, this is institutional, this is built on supremacy. The police have always been connected to and tied to organizations like the KKK, right? This is a historical thing. So it's not, that's what people are talking about. They're not talking about, these individual incidents as the problems of quote unquote bad apples, talking about a system thing.